Notre Dame heads on the road for the second straight week. This time, they're taking on Louisville. Now, last week, we saw the Fighting Irish beat Duke 21-14 in a very highly competitive and very entertaining game. And Notre Dame walked out of that game with the win. Now, you're going in to really hostile territory going on the road against Louisville. And I think that this game has a really strong chance of resulting in an upset in Louisville's favor. And let me tell you why. When you played against Duke, right, you had the talent advantage in that game. We all knew that. And you still have the talent advantage going into this game. But the reason why that game was close was because Duke is a well-coached football team. And when you're a well-coached football team, you don't commit a lot of penalties, you don't beat yourselves, and you play fundamentally sound football, you don't make a lot of mistakes on defense, not too many missed tackles and blown coverages, 9 times out of 10, you can hang around with a team like Notre Dame, because Notre Dame, when they beat you, they're not going to blow you out unless you just are at a complete disadvantage from a talent standpoint. That's not Notre Dame's style of play. They're not a team that's going to air you out. They want to get the snap off quick on offense and run a lot of plays. They kind of like to run a ball control offense. And when you're going up against Louisville, this is a team that has a very capable defense. Now, they don't have one of the best defenses in college football, but they are pretty good against the run, and they are really good inside of the red zone. Now, the downfall with Louisville's defense is that their pass rushing secondary is okay? Now, offensively, you don't really know what you're going to expect out of Louisville in this game. Because against Boston College, they put 50 on those boys' tops. And their quarterback, Jack Plummer, he had 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. It looked like he was throwing passes against the air. But then last week in their win against NC State, this offense just looked out of sorts. So you don't really know what kind of offense you're going to get out of Louisville in this game. Now, their defense should be able to keep this game close. But if this offense struggles the way that they did against NC State, eventually Notre Dame is going to end up plugging away at them, and this game could get out of hand if Jack Plummer and this offense and company don't have a better performance. Now, the main reason why I think Notre Dame can be in trouble in this game is because they're going up against a really good head coach in Jeff Brohm. Now, if you don't really know who Jeff Brohm is, let me just give you a quick summary about why he's nicknamed the Upset Master. Yes, Jeff Brohm's nickname is the Upset Master, and you don't get a nickname like that for no reason. He's 3-1 against top 5 teams. He's 7-11 against teams ranked inside the AP top 25. And I don't know how many of you guys remember that year when Ohio State got blown out on the road by Purdue, and Dwayne Haskins, God rest his soul, was the quarterback that year, and they missed the college football playoffs because of that loss. Jeff Brohm was the head coach in that game for Purdue. So you talk about Marcus Freeman needing to be ready and this coaching staff needing to be ready. This is definitely a game where they really need to coach some of their best football, because Jeff Brohm and Louisville, they're not 5-0 by mistake. Yeah, they don't really have an insanely talented roster, but they got a good enough roster, coupled with the fact that Jeff Brohm is such a great coach, is that if Notre Dame plays with their food in this game, Louisville most definitely could pull off the upset. You know, Notre Dame, they need to come into this game and really show why they're they need to come into this game and show why they're a more talented team than Louisville. All right, I think that Notre Dame is a top 10 team this year. Louisville is a top 25 team in my opinion. All right, but I think that Notre Dame does have a better overall team than Louisville, and they need to come out in this game and show it. Need to make sure that this game is kind of over by halftime. Because if you go on the road and you allow this game to be close like how it was against Duke, there's a very strong chance that you lose this game. You see, Riley Leonard, he's not really a great thrower of the football. He's a really good runner, but I don't really think he's all that great throwing the football. I think that Jack Plummer is a better thrower than what the previous quarterback that you faced for Duke was, Riley Leonard. Now, the thing with Jack Plummer is that sometimes he can be hot and cold. So with Louisville, you don't really know what you're going to get out of him. Is he going to be the quarterback that we saw put 5 touchdowns up against Boston College, or is he going to be the quarterback that struggled last week against NC State? We really don't know. One thing we do know is that the one consistent about Notre Dame on defense is that they got a really good defensive line, and their secondary is pretty good also. So you know that this defense is going to show up to play. But what about this offense, though? I still feel like Notre Dame's offense has yet to play their best football. I think that this offense is more than capable of being able to perform at a way more efficient level than what they have. This is the most talent that they've had at receiver and ever. You got a really good offensive line. You got Sam Hartman, who has made some really big plays and big moments of games. He came through last week against Duke in the clutch. He almost came through against Ohio State in the clutch. So if this is a close game, if you're a fan of the Fighting Irish, you say, JT, I believe we win because we just are a team that knows how to win these close games, and we got Sam Hartman. If we need Sam Hartman to put us in position late to win us this game, we believe that he can do that, and I believe that also. But I also believe in the upset master, Jeff Brohm. And I really think that the head coaching matchup is really going to be the deciding factor in this game, because I love Marcus Freeman as a head coach. But I do think that there is a chance that maybe Jeff Brohm gets the better of him. Jeff Brohm, he was the former head coach at Purdue. And even though the Big Ten is only ran by 3 teams, Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan, those are the only 3 teams we pay attention to in that conference, Jeff Brohm was able to make it to the Big Ten championship, and he also was able to pull off multiple upsets against teams that nobody thought they would be able to beat. You want to know why? Because he always has his team ready to play in big games, especially when they're underdogs. So if I was somebody who was betting on this game, I kind of would take Louisville with the under. Now, who I'm taking outright? I'm still taking Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I really think that this is one of the best teams that they've had in a very long time. You got a really great defense. Your offense is pretty good. And this could be another one-possession game that comes down to the wire in the fourth quarter. But Notre Dame has showed the ability to be able to close out games. Even though they weren't able to close out Ohio State, they were able to close out Duke. Louisville, even though they do have the upset master, and he does worry me in this game, I don't think that their offense is going to be able to get it done when it matters the most. Jack Plummer and company, they haven't really shown a lot of consistency. Now, if they would have had a better performance against NC State, I might change my tune about this game. But I trust Notre Dame's defense, and I think that offensively, they're just way more efficient than what Louisville is. So my final score prediction in this game is Notre Dame 27, Louisville 23 is my final score prediction.